Hey Bliss, just giving you the update on your schedule. You worked on 5 15-hour commissions. You did 3 minutes of the TF2 video. We still have 10 minutes remaining. You still have some Patreon words to settle.
That's fine. I just need to finish writing up the script for a series I wanted to review, and then I'll tackle the rest.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's still early. It's only 3 p.m., right?
No, Skittles. Your curfew of 6 p.m. was over 2 hours ago. Time to clock out.
I've been wanting to talk about this series for the longest time, and I'm finally making the effort to do so despite other priorities. I recently became a fan of Aggretsuko Netflix series back in 2019, and while I know some of you are asking why did it take so long for me to notice it, to be honest, I thought at first glance it looked cheap and cliche, just due to seeing a cliche cute character having shock value through screaming death metal music. But thanks to a certain Wolf Bro informing me that he enjoyed the series very much, I decided to give it a fair chance, considering he can be picky with his choice of shows too. Not that he was biased or anything, since the focal character of the series is an accountant or anything. So what is the series of Aggretsuko and how did it come to be? Well, the name Aggretsuko, also known by its original Japanese title, Aggretsuko, is a Japanese character that was originally created by Yeti to represent a mascot for a company, Sanrio, which just so happens to be a company that focuses on designs, license, and producing cute characters or character segments of Japanese popular culture. Not a word from any of you viewers. That goes double for the both of you!
You reap what you sow, shrimp!
Aggretsuko, or Retsuko, is the main character we are first introduced to in the series of animated shorts. Hosted by Fanworks, which aired on Tokyo Broadcasting System television between April 2016 and March 2018. Apparently the character was so popular and relatable that she was adapted and launched worldwide in her own Netflix series soon after in April 2018, and was soon followed by a second season in 2019. The series follows Retsuko, an accountant who goes through a periodic ruts in the day of working her average job that, quote, sucks the life out of her, as well as dealing with annoying colleagues, a ruthless angry pig of a boss, and the pressures from her mother while looking for ways to improve her life and learning how to be an adult in the world. How does she relieve the stress from her job, peer pressure from her colleagues, boss, and family? Well... This lovable, cute, reliable red panda uses a karaoke machine to scream out her sorrows through the heavy tones of death metal. Now, while this is definitely an eye-catcher at the beginning, one would think this gimmick cannot hold the series afloat for future seasons, which was the main reason why I didn't give it a fair chance at first. But after watching the first 2 seasons, not once, not twice, but like 4 times now, I've come to the conclusion why I stick with it and look forward to season 3 so much. First off, the setup. We follow the average daily life of a Japanese cultured hard worker protagonist as we live through her day of work stress, criticisms from those she works with, as well as the pressures and annoyance of her mother. Not only does this relate to me to a level as a hard worker myself, but also as an adult who is trying to make it out in the world without a manual, so to speak. I mean, not trying to brag, but I'm sure the first season episode of Retsuko would probably be envious if she were to hear about my work life. It's not often that some folks have the ability to work from home like I do, even at some of our hardest times in the world. never having to deal with a jerk boss or annoying colleagues. And while I do love my job and I'm grateful that it's given me the luxuries that I enjoy, I will not deny that it comes with its own list of stresses. There's the fear of bills still needing to be paid when my earnings are fluxing, or I spend too much on essentials. I am my own worst boss and have horrible deadlines. And of course, the need to find time to enjoy life through going out to see friends and getting proper sleep is rather hard when balancing home life with work life, since, well, they both tend to occupy the same space. But moving on, following Retsuko's story, particularly in Season 1, focuses on how she wishes to leave her job for an easier lifestyle, whether to find a new job with one of her childhood friends, like owning a shop, or ditching work by getting married to a rich husband. Hence why I suspect she'd be envious of my job. Refocusing, the show breaks about new perspectives on how young adults of our day and age struggle with daily life and finding balance between work, love life, and of course, friendships. The everyday grind to earn that paycheck so that we can afford our daily essentials like a place to live, food, water, clothes, and if we're lucky, enough for a few luxuries like going out to eat and drink with friends. It's a relatable setup to many of my generation can get behind, and addressing familiar stresses that we all tend to deal with as we go, including but not limited to the fear of failure, fears of living alone, and fears of being successful. And it's all expressed through fun and relatable characters that they share their views to, which we see through the eyes of Retsuko. Which brings me to my second point. The characters. Not to ignore Retsuko, but the entire show is filled with colorful characters that I bet some of us could relate to and even identify in our own lives. We have the sassy colleague, Eliora, the romantic interest in our protagonist, Sub-Zero, the two best friends who are strong and more experienced, Dr. Wolf and Tarek. There's the pushy parent. Heck, there are even characters that represent the brown-nosed types that mean well. While they all have their own strengths and weaknesses throughout the series, they all coordinate and carry each episode by bringing new obstacles or topics to the viewer. For instance, the pressures of failing in love with a colleague and living with the acceptance that they may not feel the same way in return. Or sharing a perspective of why one colleague may be sucking up to the boss, but is doing so only to make the day go smoother for everyone else. Or, one of my personal favorite lessons, putting on a fake smile knowing you're not only lying to yourself, you're lying to those around you and are hurting everyone around you. Lessons like these, I feel, are more targeted towards the younger adult viewers, specifically Zennials and Millennials. While acknowledging that the character designs and clever dialogue, I mean, the English dub does a great job in my opinion, go together super well on their own personalities, may come off inviting to kids, but make no mistake, this series caters to a more adult audience due to the language and hints of adult activities. However, this leads to my third and final point why I enjoyed the series so much. The animation and character design. You would think taking one look it was simply symbol-to-symbol flash animation, and rightfully so. The style of the characters are made to be simplified designs, but with exaggerated features, such as larger heads and smaller torsos, simple black eyes or big eyes with small pupils. Even the line work is clearly done by a line tool and rounded off. Lip syncing or mouth animation has also been designed to be simple for some characters to the point they don't even have lips at all. They simply have trunks or beaks that wobble up and down or side to side as they talk. And while this may seem like a lack of creativity, the less is more route I argue benefits the series, especially when dramatic scenes come up with Retsuko's death metal music, a heavy change from the cute and easy type to the hardcore death style. Not only that, it provides more room to exaggerate a character's features to better give them personality on the outside as much as on the inside. For instance, like Haida the hyena. He has a taller, sharper design in his legs and has a locked jaw to emphasize his sharp, jagged teeth, basically giving the character a wider range of expression from happy or blissful to angry and frustrated with relative ease. Considering he's also a character that has a love interest in our protagonist, this gives the animators more elbow room to play with his expressions when he displays his fantasies or frustrations. You take one look at his design and you know he's a character that's full of passion in both positive and negative, whereas you have a more stoic design like Washimi. Her face tends to lack expression and her body gives off a mean, lean, powerful machine with a hint of elegance and grace. Combining that with her movements and her amazing voice actor, a character that is both powerful and independent, but also has a hint of motherly care. I love that characters can't easily be described just by design alone, and the fact that they are interpreted through animals make it all the more fun to watch that I simply cannot get enough of it. But that doesn't mean it doesn't have a few flaws, which I will address based on my opinion. It does suffer now and then, making the main character Retsuko look almost villainous when it comes to her views on life and her job. In one episode, she wanted so badly to get out of her job, and she thought one good way to do so was to find a rich man to marry and never have to worry about her problems again. This may seem on the surface level an innocent and easy way of escaping the real world and her responsibilities, but it paints her in a low light to me, which thankfully is called out later on by other characters. Using someone or marriage as a tool to get out of a situation you don't enjoy is something I frown upon, especially when it's not love you're looking for, just a quick buck and not being responsible for yourself. Using people because you don't like how things are going, I just find despicable and a poor means of going through life, not to mention hurting someone else in the process. However, again, situations like these are quickly pointed out, criticized, and talked about through Retsuko's friends, so I can't be too annoyed about it for long, and she does end up learning the value of friendship and responsibility on herself in these lessons. But then you'll have characters like Mr. Tone, who was painted in such an evil light that he was frequently expressed through kaiju references as a monster of the accounting department, waiting to crush one of his employees that stepped out of line, only to discover later that he deep down does care about his workers and their well-being, even though he tends not to express it until it's seriously needed. He's a character you are supposed to dislike in the beginning but later warm up to him, and I'm not sure how to feel about this, but the fact that I've rewatched the first two series repeatedly should state something. But by far, the one character of the show I dislike the most that I'm still waiting on the show to fix is Retsuko's mother. This is a character who has been forcing her Stone Age views on relationships, expecting her daughter to hurry up and get married, even guilt-tripping and tricking her into going on speed dates, or even meeting up with strangers she personally hooks up. Even going so far to blatantly use Photoshop methods to make a bachelor picture look good for her daughter, even though it's clearly obvious of her ploys. Not to mention her hypocrisy on how she tries to set up Retsuko, knowing she would never have done it herself.
If anybody was going to find me my true love, it was going to be fate, and not some meddling relative.
Hold on.
I remember it so well.
Time out.
Our parents forbade us, but we just said, damn the torpedoes!
I don't know, the parent is just horribly annoying and frustrating to me. Though maybe my views are influenced on the fact I had good parents that didn't overly invade or dictate my life. I mean, I won't be surprised if there are parents out there that are like this. It's not like the mother hates her daughter or is bullying her, but it's more of she's a helicopter mom, pushing her ideals and interests on her. Do parents like this still exist? Feel free to talk about it in the comments if you have parents like these guys. In conclusion, I highly still recommend this series despite the flaws I have with some characters being interpreted. It has wonderful and cute styles of animation and character designs. A lot of the characters I can actually relate to on both the workforce and in personal relations with relative ease. Not to mention they provide great flow to each plot of the story. And of course, the lessons on the journey of becoming an adult is very well performed and carried by our main protagonist as she goes through the series. Everything about this show screams comedic humor of facing adult life to me in the present time, reminding me that while we do struggle with our daily ruts of work and family, we can still find time to find joys in life, create goals and dreams for better things we can do. And while I do have a few nitpicks about the series, they hardly stand up against all the positives it's given me. I certainly look forward to what happens next on Aggretsuko as we follow the average daily work life of this cute red panda. More than likely, by the time you are watching this, Season 3 will already be released, and I'll be binge watching the season with a passion. In between working on TF2 episodes, artwork, commissions, Patreon rewards, more artwork. I'm Lightning Bliss, and I thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click on that bell button to get updates on my latest videos as they are released. It really helps my channel out a lot. And be sure to check out the other videos that pop up at the end of the screen as well. As always, keep an eye out for those rainbows. They will make you smile. That's fine. I just need to finish writing up the script for a series I wanted to review, and then I'll tackle the rest. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are you serious? I'm working! I don't know you who is calling me. Go away. OMG. Cell phones really can be a curse. And I'm sure Doc is giggling in the background hearing me say that. That is a blooper. You're welcome. Aggretsuko, or Retsuko, is the main character we will... Come on, Emily. Just... I need to drink more coffee. Aggretsuko...
Okay, so I've tried this like 50 times, and it turns out that I can't force myself to laugh on command because it just sounds hollow. Yay! So I'm just gonna snicker, and you're kind of just gonna have to deal with that because I don't really have much choice here. So yeah.